March has come and gone, and Nintendo's plans and future is still very mysterious. April is supposed to be the reckoning, the month where it all goes down, and we've got new Nintendo Direct news and the latest leaks to discuss with all of you today. So good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. The information is still coming closer and closer to materializing into Nintendo's next reveal. I truly believe that Nintendo has plenty planned for us, and even though March has passed, we do have new updates from leakers to tell us exactly what they think is going down. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you're doing fantastic out there. I love this time of every year, the hype before the storm. Okay, and March passed. Now, March was supposed to be an indie world if you believe the schedule and plan laid forward by leakers like Brazil and kind of sort of affirmed by Nate Drake and just the general progression of the year. March has come and gone and there was no indie world. But if we look closely, we can see that April is still a viable slot for an indie world as well as a direct. And now, based on the newest info, I believe that April, the upcoming month, is going to have both an indie world presentation and a Nintendo Direct. So that's freaking exciting. Let me know if you're pumped in the comments down below. We're going to cover everything, including the newest details. Now, we also have Metroid Prime 4 to bring into this, as well as what other games could be there, and a big leak of supposedly all the games that are going to show up. So this is a very jam-packed video. Grab some popcorn, get ready, and buckle up. I'm going to kick it off with what began this whole April shenanigans, which was Brazil and the Nintendo Switch 2 delay. Supposedly, Switch 2 was delayed internally, shifting Nintendo's plans and moving around their direct schedule. That's why we got a strange partner showcase in February, and that's why it's been a bit odd to begin 2024. But back in February, Brazil said that the plan was an Indie World and then a Nintendo Direct. The Nintendo Direct in April and the Indie World before the Nintendo Direct, probably in March. Now, March has not materialized, no Indie World, although there were some indie drops and indie announcements via the Indie World Twitter account, but no Indie World presentation. And Nintendo typically does have a Q1 Indie World presentation. But did you know that in both 2021 and 2023, Nintendo did host April Indie Worlds? And I think we are due for another one in the 4th month of the year. I want you eating good. I want you eating grand. And I don't want it to stress you out or take all day. I mean, look how delicious these meals look. Big thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video. I can even make them. I am no chef, I am no cook, I have no recipe knowledge, but they make it easy, they make it quick, and they make it taste perfect. So make sure to click the link in the description or use my code and get 16 free meals plus free dessert for life while your subscription is active, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. Look at me go, making an absolute masterpiece. And did I mention the desserts? Pause for desserts because these cheesecakes and the lava cakes are so good. I ate the lava cake too fast, I forgot to record it. True story. It was that freaking delicious. I just scarfed it down and was like, oh crap, I needed to film that. But trust me, the lava cake, the cheesecake, absolutely epic, and who doesn't want a sweet treat after their dinner? These meals shocked me. I feel like they get better and better as we go. There's over 45 to pick from. You select the ones you want each and every week, and it's already there, delivered to your door, and then you make something like this. I made this. How did I do it? I did it because of HelloFresh. So make sure to click that link. Every time you do, it helps support the channel. My code is SwitchForce16FM for 16 free meals and dessert for life. Get your eating grander. Get your eating gooder. Get your eating greater with HelloFresh. Now, here's where things really come together and the latest information I can find to give to all of you. So back in February, Brazil said Indie World probably March, Direct in April, June for the Switch 2 reveal. Now this week, Brazil has commented again, linking to that post, saying that he felt really good that week about his sources and about the information he had, stepping in since I've received some DMs and since I was the one to volunteer all of those dates over a month ago, even though I told myself I was out of the event date leak thing a couple of years back. Here's the post from back then. Now, I haven't talked to the Indie World source in a few weeks, reached out today, didn't get a response yet, but as far as I'm aware, that presentation could still happen in the time frame I was given. And remember, the time frame he was given was before the next Direct. He said presumably March because it made sense, and March has been a month where Indie Worlds have taken place. predominantly, but like I said, 2 instances in the last 3 years of utilizing April. He says the April Direct is still a go as of last week. Now, this is great news because we've heard Necro Philippe talk about an April Direct, and now we're hearing Brazil affirm and say that his sources as recent as last week said the April Direct was still a go. And if that timeline is to work out, then the Indie World probably is happening as well. And there's nothing to prevent Nintendo from having an Indie World the first week of April and then a Direct, say, the third week of April. That's plenty of space and very, very unlikely to have any overlapping games. Remember, Nintendo does not like to double dip on Indie Worlds. It's going to be brand new stuff. They're going to showcase brand new games. It's probably not going to be Hollow Knight Silksong. If that were to appear, it would be at a Direct. And so there's no real reason that these two cannot coexist in the same month. April is not typically a Direct month, so we already know that if this is to happen, the plans are thrown off. The plans are earthquaked into a different pattern, and that's totally fine. Nintendo is a very pattern-based company, but as we've seen in recent years, they're totally fine to go off script. And Brazil even echoes that by saying, please remember that the last Direct was delayed by a week, the week of. And be kind to Pioro, Necro, Nate, and whoever else decides to volunteer any further info. From my end at least, things only really start materializing in a solid way a week before the planned date. Until then, it's always up in the air, which is why I promise I won't talk about event dates anymore after these go down. Ha ha ha. So the April Direct, he is not saying is not happening. He's just saying the solid leaks and the solid rumors and info about what games are going to be there and about exactly how big or small the show is going to be, exactly what type of presentation it will be, all takes shape about a week before. And last time the Direct was delayed by a week, the week of. Now you can assume that's because of internal shifting plans, Microsoft's weird podcast, and their games coming to Nintendo platforms. Whatever it was pushed back, and we have multiple leakers that have claimed and now are reaffirming that, yeah, it was shifted. So this could be shifted as well, but it does seem like we're lining up for an early April Indie World and then a late April Nintendo Direct sometime before Endless Ocean on May 2nd and the Investors Call on May 7th. Stuff has to happen in the next 37 days because Nintendo will not go into that Investors Call saying, Paper Mario, Luigi's Mansion 2, 2 remakes/remasters that are bringing back games from yesteryear and are already announced. Investors will want to see what Nintendo has moving forward, and currently they have nothing. Now enter Jeff Grubb and Metroid Prime 4, because Jeff Grubb has talked a lot of game about Metroid Prime in the past, and we're all eagerly anticipating Metroid Prime 4. Nintendo has promised that that game will release on the Switch, and the Switch is still the main console, so this year seems like a good chance of that game finally being realized and materializing in an actual way beyond a logo. Jeff Grubb said that the same source that told him Epic Mickey Rebrushed was coming this year also told him that Metroid Prime 4 was coming this year, and he heard that Nintendo was looking to get assets together by May. Now, by May is definitely in time for a June Direct, or maybe it's just around that time frame for a shifted April Direct. Again, if Nintendo was initially planning to have the Switch 2 come out earlier, maybe their Direct schedule was in a different order, different months, different plan. Just because Jeff Grubb heard May doesn't mean it couldn't be April, and it makes a lot of sense that if Metroid Prime 4 is to come out this year, which now Grubb believes based on the same leaker who leaked Epic Mickey's remaster telling him that, hey, Metroid Prime 4 is also coming this year, that source is good for Epic Mickey, probably good for Metroid Prime. They got to announce and talk about it soon. They got to give some lead up. They got to give some excitement. They got to give some gameplay. They got to give a title, a pre-order, something. Now, Nintendo typically does like to use shorter hype cycles, but April to October or April to November isn't that bad. Also, in a year where nothing is announced, this would be a great way to put a huge stamp on the calendar and get people excited for the rest of the year, calendar 2024, for Nintendo Switch. The most anticipated game possibly, beside, of course, like a new 3D Mario and Tears of the Kingdom. Metroid Prime 4 has been waiting in the wings for 7 years, and it's due to come out. It's due to show up. And if you add Brazil's reaffirmation of the April Direct is still a go as of last week, if you add Grubb's Epic Mickey Metroid Prime source telling us that, hey, Epic Mickey, oh, that's good, Metroid Prime should be good, he heard May assets, it does kind of line up. And I also do believe personally, in my own opinion, that Nintendo will want to show Metroid Prime 4 before the Switch 2 launch or before the Switch 2 reveal, which, whether that takes place in June, July, August, or September, October even, then they can show how the Switch 2 improves Metroid Prime 4 after already revealing it on Switch 1. It doesn't really make much sense to go the other direction, and I don't believe they're ready to reveal the Switch 2 next month. Therefore, it seems very likely that Metroid Prime 4 will be the headliner for the next Nintendo Direct. Now, let's look at a huge leak that seems very suspicious, but we're gonna take a look at it because it's coming in an interesting form, okay? Usually we get leaks that are a piece of paper, a printout. We know those aren't real. Nobody at Nintendo is accidentally leaving the printout of the Direct with the biggest spoilers and the biggest information from Nintendo HQ on a rogue table and someone picks it up and scans a quick picture. But this one is a leak, supposedly, of the folders on a computer that all correlate to a Nintendo Direct. Now, I'll let you know that I give this a super sus chance of being real. I'd say like a 2% chance, but I wanted to cover it because it is a major leak that just dropped, and it is something that does have a game logo, which adds a little more credibility, although it could have just been photoshopped, and maybe this just gets your mind thinking of what games could be there. This leak begins with this Ubisoft original called Hocus Focus, a play on Hocus Pocus, and it's a zoomed in shot of the logo on a Nintendo Direct screen. Like I said, this looks plausible, but it also could very easily be photoshopped. I have no idea what Hocus Focus would be. It sounds like a smaller title. A magic-based co-op game would be my guess based on 2 pairs of eyes and the purple and green fonts. Outside of that, this folder list indicates that Nintendo would be showcasing Big Brain Academy Collection, a new brain training game collection for Switch, Biomutant, which we know is coming out soon, Donkey Kong Country Returns. Okay, so DK is here, but it's bringing over and porting Donkey Kong Country Returns, not a new DK, porting, the predecessor to Tropical Freeze. That to me seems, it seems like Nintendo, but it would be such a bummer. Endless Ocean Luminous, of course. Epic Mickey Rebrushed, sure. Epic Mickey Rebrushed developer interview. I guess Warren Spector, okay. eShop Trailer 4. This, in theory, would be new indie games, new eShop games, maybe some demos, and possibly some NSO games, I guess. Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War. That's your Fire Emblem remake. Hocus Focus. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD and multiplayer trailer. Mario Party Remixed. Now, we have Super Mario Party and Mario Party Superstars, so this would be a third iteration of Mario Party on the Switch, and it would seemingly do something a little bit different. It kind of sounds like a sequel to Mario Party Superstars, but the remix nature could be taking, smashing too many games together, taking old favorites and modernizing them, or in some way putting like old boards with new twists. I really do think a Mario Party is likely for this year. I think that's a really great bingo board bet. I don't know if Mario Party Remixed, though. That seems pretty generic. We've got, this is Touch Panic? Remake of Touch Panic. I believe that's a DS game. Metroid Prime 2 game available later today. Okay, that's, I guess, something that easily could happen. Metroid Prime 3 game available later this year. Sure. Microsoft partnership games. What would this be? We already know that they've been given Grounded and that they brought Pentiment over. Hi-Fi Rush seems like a no-go, although I suppose it could still come. The other one would be Sea of Thieves, but we also have a folder later listing Sea of Thieves game as a separate instance, which kind of betrays the Microsoft partnership game because wouldn't that be Sea of Thieves? All right, Motocross Maniacs Advance, New Super Mario Bros. DS plus Wii. So they're bundling the original New Super Mario Bros. Games and bringing them to Switch. I find that highly unlikely. They've already brought Super Mario Bros. New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, the Wii U edition, over to Switch. We have Mario Wonder that recently released last October. Are they really going to bring old and frankly kind of antiquated? I don't know if anyone would want the Wii and DS versions of New Super Mario Bros., especially on the heels of Mario Wonder. That seems very unlikely. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door trailer. Purchase Nintendo Switch games ad. They typically don't have commercials in the middle of their Direct, so that's very weird. I guess maybe this isn't in the Direct, this is just a separate folder. Sea of Thieves, again, don't know why it's a duplicate. System Codename 13, don't know what that is. Wind Waker HD as a separate port/release. Xenoblade Warriors as the, I don't know if that's supposed to be the closer or if that's supposed to be just a new game and it would be in the Warriors franchise, which a Warriors game has been, hypothesized by many people. That's not a stretch. There's also a Mario Bros. Movie trailer that I don't know. I guess this is supposed to add credence that it's, I don't know. It's a work in progress 3 kilobyte file. It seems very, very odd. All of these folders were modified on March 26th, a couple days ago. Like I said, I think this list is a lot of like sort of likely games, but it would be a dud of a direct in my opinion. Notice that Metroid features heavily with 2 and 3, but no 4. And notice that just about everything is bringing back titles from before in remixed or remade form. New Super Mario Bros. Coming back, Donkey Kong Country Returns coming back, Epic Mickey coming back, Fire Emblem coming back, Luigi's Mansion 2, Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. Even the Mario Party seems to be something like a blast from the past. Wind Waker HD, goodness gracious sakes alive. Big Brain Academy, like there's nothing new here. And I do think Nintendo will have a lighter year, and they are emphasizing ports as we've seen with games like Luigi's Mansion, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and Paper Mario. But they're going to have some new stuff, and they're going to have a big hitter. And Xenoblade Warriors to me is not a big enough hitter. I give this, like I said, like a 2 to 3% chance of being real. I don't think a screenshot of folders is really any more believable than a screenshot of a piece of paper, a printout. Maybe like it takes one step up because it's digital and Nintendo sure ain't printing out their direct list. But we'll have to wait and see. I would not believe in any of this. I would put a little faith in Metroid Prime 4. I do think that's something that is going to materialize soon, and if there is an April Direct, I can't really see a better time. But Brazil still has heard the April Direct is good to go. His Indie World source has not replied, but that could still take place before the Direct, and April has been used. So we could be in for a humongous month that sets the tone for the rest of the year for Nintendo Switch and delivers many of the announcements that we've been eagerly anticipating and hoping for and worrying may not take place. I do think Nintendo will have solid information in April, one way or another, because the investors' call in early May is something they want to get out ahead of. Let me know your take in the comments down below. Do you believe Indie World and General Direct can be in the same month? Can they coexist peacefully and bring together a beautiful future for our favorite platform? Or do you think this is all a bunch of hogwash? Let me know your take. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. And until next time, love you lots. Thanks again. SwitchForce out.